How often do you wear that shirt in bids? Zach Zombie. He's talking about my incredible shirt that I wore for the last couple of videos. Honestly, I don't think I wear it that often. I mean, I wear it on occasion, but usually I'm not wearing it because... What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the NFL as well as the Detroit Lions training camp schedule. And also, it looks like the Detroit Lions may have made that big decision. Let's get it started. Oh, as you can see, you can actually see the helmets and the team that they represent. That's really cool. I love that. And it also gives us more space to add more things like that. Obviously, you can see we're continuing to use the whiteboard. I love using the whiteboard. I just thought that comment was kind of funny. He's right, though. I wear this shirt a ton, but I thought I had to wear it for this video because otherwise it wouldn't fit as well. So I did. Shout out to Zach Zombie for this one. Now, let's talk about the Detroit Lions training camp schedule. So today is July 28th. Training camp has kicked off. Let's get it started. Let's get some highlights. What are we doing? Well, doesn't look like we're going to have those for a while. Basically, every team in the NFL is basically following a very similar schedule about how things will go through training camp. Now, obviously, when you're conditioning, practicing, things like that, you could do it your own type of way with, regulations and protocols. But there is a main schedule that the NFL will be following, every NFL team, on how they will do things through training camp. And because of that, we probably won't get much from the Detroit Lions on how players performed for a while. So let's just go right through this training camp schedule. I think it just makes sense because yes, the hype has built up for July 28th, but we're not going to really hear anything unless for some reason they give us highlights on the Lions doing testing and a virtual meeting. So yes, July 28th through July 31st, they are going to be doing health testing and also virtual meetings. Wait, virtual? Y'all reported for virtual meetings? Okay, I'm not exactly sure about this one. This one's interesting. If anybody knows exactly what this is in the comment section below, honestly, put in the comment section because I don't 100% get this. You're having virtual meetings, but you're there. Are they all in different rooms or something? That's crazy. That is crazy stuff. All the players have reported to training camp, but that is the plan for July 28th through July 31st. So very interesting training camp schedule. Now let's hop down to August 1st and August 2nd, where things, I would say, start to pick up a little bit, where we see players get physicals, and they're also having equipment distribution. So players are getting their physicals, they're making sure they're testing negative for everything. Then August 3rd through August 11th is when things, I would say, start to pick up in terms of working out, things like that. Again, we still may not get anything from this because it's more just conditioning, strength, stuff like that. It's not things on the field. I mean, they may give us a few montages, kind of like the players did this offseason on Instagram with players working out, things like that. I would be down for it. I'd definitely react to it, but I have no idea. So just kind of a, in-depth schedule look. 1 hour of weight room, 1 hour of on-the-field conditioning. We're also going to see total strength and conditioning, 15 people in a group or less, so I guess it's gonna be smaller groups, kind of broken down. Makes sense. Only strength conditioning with coaches, so it's really important that Detroit Lions have good strength and conditioning coaches. Backs, wide receivers, kickers, and punters will be allowed to use footballs, have their football in their hands a lot, so those guys are going to be able to use footballs. I'm sure there's tons of regulations with that as well. They also can do walkthroughs up to an hour, so just a walkthrough, not practicing, just walkthroughs. And for the first 4 days, the walkthroughs would be 60 minutes long, and for the last 4 days, walkthroughs can be up to 75 minutes long. August 8th will be the off day within that time period. Now let's move down to August 12th through August 16th, where I would say here's where we start to possibly see things. So August 12th, which is what, 2 weeks from now? So maybe 2 weeks from now we start to see things, hopefully earlier than that, but I'm not exactly sure. Maybe they'll update how this is going to go. Everything is always changing, so who knows what's going to look like what a few weeks from now. We're going to see our first practice of 90 minutes, 15 minutes more every single day. So every day they're going to add 15 minutes to that until they get up to 120 minutes of practice time, which is 2 hours. Come on, man. I know my math. Let's go. Well, is that math or is that clock? What's that clock? Stop. August 12th and August 13th, we will see them put on their helmets and the padded shirts. You know, they always have like those padded shirts and they got the shorts on and things like that. Like, they're not wearing their pads yet, but they're kind of like wearing like the protective gear a little bit. And they're also going to be running around with helmets, probably to get used to when the helmet is on. It's a different game when the helmet is on. I know that. I mean, I didn't play tons of football, but I just know when a helmet is on, it's a lot different than not having a helmet. Non-padded practice will be no live contact, but more, I would say, just more advanced walkthroughs, things like that. So, they're going to have practice. They're just not going to have like live contact where they're hitting each other and things like that. August 15th will be the off day in that time slot. And then we move on to August 17th. August 17th through September 6th is where the practices will start to kick off, and that is for sure where we're going to start getting some things to watch like that. So I would say at least 2 weeks from now, I don't think we're going to get any highlight videos or anything like that from the Detroit Lions. So we're still kind of holding up, but there are definitely tons of things to talk about. This is when we will start doing some training camp hype the next couple of weeks. And if we do get any news from the Detroit Lions or anything like that, we'll definitely talk about it. We know players having opting out. Hopefully it doesn't happen for the Lions, but obviously they're trying to stay safe and everything like that. Like Dante Hightower just opted out of the 2020 2020 season. Think about that. That's a big name that opted out. I haven't heard anybody opt out for the Detroit Lions yet. At this point, I've seen a lot of players from other teams, especially the Patriots. A lot of players are opting out for the Patriots, but they'll find a way to be successful still. They're still the Patriots, right? So there you go. That is the Detroit Lions training camp schedule. Now, what is the big decision? Well, we talked about Detroit Lions have a big decision to make this offseason. It looks like the Detroit Lions may have come to a decision because this was due by July 28th, and today is July 28th. And unless we hear some cuts come out soon, at this point, I think the Detroit Lions have made a decision on what to do. And let me just say, the rules that I'm hearing, it makes a lot of sense what the Detroit Lions did. I think the Detroit Lions had two options for training camp: to keep the 90-man roster or cut down to an 80-man roster. Now, the differences were this: if the Detroit Lions wanted to keep that 90-man roster, then they would have to split up into two groups for training camp, which would honestly just be weird. And the second option was this: that hey, you can cut down and you can keep all of these guys together if you cut down to an 80-man roster by July 28th. But the Detroit Lions, at least at this point, I haven't heard the Lions cut anybody like that yet. Now, a lot of teams have. I've seen the Patriots do it. I've seen a lot of teams be cutting down to about 80-man roster. The Titans did, I believe. But the Detroit Lions have not done that yet. They have not cut down to an 80-man roster. So that tells me the Detroit Lions are going to go with option number 2, 90-man players on the roster. But now looking at the training camp schedule, it makes a lot of sense to keep the 90 players on the roster because by August 16th, either way, you have to cut down to an 80-man roster. No matter what, you have to cut down to an 80-man roster by August 16th. So through that time, from now to August 16th, you're going to be split into two groups, with rookies and quarterbacks on one end. Well, they can have as many quarterbacks they want, injured players, and then you're going to have your veterans on another side. So yes, they're apart from each other, but when you look at the schedule, up until August 16th, where they start actually practicing, there's really not much going on where they're going to need to be together. I mean, it's conditioning, things like that. You don't need to be in a group to condition to get in shape. Then it's August 16th when they start having contact practices and things like that, is when they will cut down to the 80-man roster anyways, and everybody will come back together. So it just makes sense. I mean, I didn't really get it. I'm like, you can't really force a team to not have players together. Are they really going to do that? Like live practice, they're not going to be together? Well, no. So August 16th, they have to cut down anyway. So I think it makes a lot of sense to hold on to those 10 players, maybe get a little bit of a feel for them up till August 16th, and maybe buy you a little bit of time before you decide who you want to cut, the first 10 players that you have to cut this offseason. So for the Detroit Lions, it looks like that is the decision that they made. So the rookies, injured players, and quarterbacks will pretty much be separated from the veterans. However, on August 16th, they will come back together as the Detroit Lions. By that time, will have to have cut 10 players. Now, I'm sure they can do it a lot earlier. They can probably do it whenever they want, but we'll have to wait and see. At this point, we haven't heard any cuts yet, so we'll see who the Detroit Lions cut. I will definitely keep you guys updated. Let me know your thoughts, comments below, but we have a lot to talk about. So trust me, guys, we're not going anywhere. Training camp, really not a lot to talk about yet, but for the meantime, we have a lot of fun things planned. So let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.